This is Kai Wheeler from KaiWheeler.com, and today I'm going to be taking you through 3 exercises that are going to strengthen the glutes and the core. Now, contrary to popular belief, the glutes serve another purpose other than to attract the opposite sex. The glutes are responsible for hip extension, and they also play a role in stabilizing the pelvis and the spine. So for postural reasons, it's really important to make sure that your back side, so the posterior side of your body, your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, are strong to balance out your body. A lot of times we do things in our everyday life where we're spending a lot of time seated or in front of a computer, and that tightens up the front side of our body and weakens the back side of our body. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you some exercises that are not only going to strengthen the glutes, but they're also going to improve the connection between your trunk and your lower body, strengthening that core connection, strengthening your base, if you will. So let's get started. The first exercise I'm going to demonstrate is going to be a hip bridge. Now, this is a great exercise to wake up the connection between the core and the glutes. So you're going to begin in a seated position with your feet in front of you, firmly planted on the ground. So from here, you're going to lie back. I'm going to reposition myself so my head is still on the mat, with your palms facing up. Now, from here, what you want to do is you want to tilt your pelvis forward, so you're rotating it under, so that your back is nice and flat against the mat. So at this point, you should have no space between your lower back and the mat. So the key is you're going to put tension on the glutes, squeeze the glutes, and draw your navel in simultaneously. That's the first step. Now from here, you're going to raise your hips up toward the ceiling, stopping when you squeeze your glutes as much as they'll squeeze. So you don't want to go much higher than this, because if you go all the way up, you're going to start to arch your back. So you're just going high enough, maintaining the pelvic tilt, and then you're stopping. So you want to hold that tight contraction at the top for about 3 seconds, and then you're going to come back down to the start, take a break for about a second, and then repeat the process. Good. Now, if you're really putting tension on the glutes, if you're really drawing that navel in, you should feel some burning in the gluteal region. I'm going to recommend 3 sets of 10 reps with 1 minute between each set. I'm not really sure what this exercise is called, so for lack of having a name for it, I'm just going to call it a single leg medicine ball deadlift with an overhead press. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking that hip lift, using that hip extension in a standing position. And we're also going to be using some core stabilization just to stay balanced during this exercise. So because it's single leg, you're going to be using your hamstrings and your glutes to help you to stabilize, and it's also core to keep you from moving laterally. So for this exercise, the first thing I want to do is begin with my feet hip distance apart. I just find this to be a good setup position to get my hips ready for flexion and extension. I'm going to go onto one leg, shifting my weight back on my heel, holding the ball at my chest. I'm going to tuck my hip, so you should see my back nice and neutral. And I'm going to have my shoulders back, my navel drawn in. I'm going to reach down the ball toward the ground, and just above the grass, I'm going to bring the ball back up to my chest. As I raise my knee, I raise the ball overhead, squeezing my left glute. So the foot that's planted, that glute is going to contract as you raise the ball overhead. Now be mindful when you raise the ball not to elevate your traps. Keep your shoulders down, keep that back nice and neutral. So again, drawing the navel in, shifting my weight back on my heels, raising the ball down, come up, squeeze the glutes overhead. So just like the first exercise, you're gonna go 3 sets of 10 reps with 1 minute rest in between. So we've done a corrective warm-up exercise, we've done a balanced stability exercise, now we're gonna get to some strength plyometric work. This last exercise is going to be an alternating double jump lunge. Begin with your feet hip distance apart, bring one foot back heel off the ground into a staggered stance. Your front knee is going to be behind the toe, so that means you're distributing your weight back on your heel. You're hinging this hip back, loading the glutes, ready for contraction. So you're going to draw the navel in, extend the thoracic. Now when you extend the thoracic, be mindful that your chest is going to be toward the ground to avoid from arching your back. So there's a slight forward lean. Make sure that your shoulders stay depressed. I'm going to jump twice off of this front foot. So most of my pressure is on this front foot. Switch. Now, be mindful that when you land, you want to immediately distribute your weight back on your front heel, meaning knee behind the toe. You're shooting that hip back to absorb the landing. Remember to keep the glutes contracted throughout the exercise. This is just going to make the movement pattern that much more efficient. It's also going to provide support for the spine, and it's going to recruit the most power from those glutes. Now, unlike the first 2 exercises, this one we are going to complete until exhaustion. So you're going to do as many double alternating jump lunges as you can before you start to break form. At that point, you're going to stop. You're going to take a 1 minute break and you're going to do 2 more rounds. So it's 3 rounds total. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button if you found it helpful and subscribe if you haven't already. I post videos as often as I can, so please be sure to come back and check me out.